welcome back to my channel, and thank you guys for your continued support. Now I know you guys see the title of this video, so grab your drink of choice, your favorite snack, sit back and relax. We definitely have some things to unpack here pertaining to this story. But first things first, I will be speaking at a women's empowerment event on April 3rd called Girl Enough alongside 2 other life coaches. And it is a free event. It'll be via Zoom, and it will be giving away cash prizes. I myself will be giving away a free 1-hour life coaching session, yes. So I'll go ahead and put the link in the description box if you ladies are interested. And so, yeah, back to the topic at hand. Mr. Derrick Jaxn. There's so much to unpack here. So first things first, for those who don't know who I am or haven't watched me before, I am a life coach. I specialize in singles, healing, and breakups. And so I typically don't cover things that are in the blogs. So the reason why I felt inclined to speak on this is because me and Derrick are pretty much within the same realm. Now, don't get it twisted. I know we both are on 2 different levels. He has a bigger platform than I do. Let's being real. He has a bigger platform, but we're within the same realm as far as being coaches. The only difference is our specialties. And I guess he calls himself this relationship guru. I myself, I'm not going to, I don't feel like I would like to specialize in that just yet, only because for me, I feel like when you call yourself a relationship guru, you also need to have success stories, not only in other people's lives, but your behind the scenes as well needs to also reflect what you're preaching. And so that's why I haven't I haven't crossed that line yet into, coaching in regards to relationships. And I think you definitely need to have integrity and practice what you preach. And, whatever standards that you speak on and you preach on, you need to uphold yourself to the same standards, is basically what I'm saying. So when you aren't doing that, let me rewind. When you give yourself a name like a relationship guru, you do open yourself up to criticism. I mean, people are going to criticize you anyway, but it makes it easier for people to want to find something wrong or pick you apart, especially with the way that Derrick, the way that he puts his message out there. There are a lot of men who don't like him. So when this happened, it made it easier for people to for men especially, to feel vindicated that, oh, this man that has been pandering to you women, look, he's not so perfect after all. He's been telling you guys, oh, men are this, men are that, but he is the same man that he speaks of. And so, and another thing I want to say is too, guys, because the men are saying that the women, we're taking the L. We're not taking the L. With all due respect, the wife is the one taking the L, because us women, we can move on and go on about our lives. And we don't have to worry about any of that pain that the wife has to endure. So guys, stop reveling in the pain of Black women. I think that's what some of you are so excited about. It's kind of disgusting. It's really disgusting. And I'm not saying all men are doing this, but some are, especially the ones that are probably guilty of doing some of the acts that he speaks on, because regardless of what he's done, some of the information he says still is true. Now, I never really kept up with him. I watched Tony Gaskins, but I don't put anyone on a pedestal. I don't put anything past anyone, because I believe anyone is capable of anything if you're a human being. And I think I've never really kept up with Derrick Jaxn, only because to me, he gave off a weird vibe. It didn't come off as genuine as I would like. I don't know. Me personally, I kind of read through all of that. And so that's the reason why I never kept up with him. I would see some of his clips here and there. and hear his message. And, I could understand, where he was coming from with some of his messages. So I don't knock him for that. But it's definitely important when you're on the platform that you're on, especially as big as he is, that you do uphold yourself to the same standards that you're upholding a lot of other people to. With all of that being said, I've definitely done some research on this topic in regards to how all of this came about, with that led up to him and his wife doing the video or the live, and then then his wife coming out doing another video on her Instagram page after all the backlash she received. So I do got my trusty dusty notebook here, guys. So if you see me looking down, it's only because I had done, I just want to make sure I hit every point that I want to talk about. So how it all started off was there were 3 women that have came out. And the first one, her name was Candace. She said she met him July 2020 of last year, which they had sex in the same bed that, well, in the same house and the same bed that Derrick and his wife lives in. And she thought they were separated. Pretty much he had told all 3 of the women that he was separated from his wife. The first girl he dealt with, she said she was a huge supporter of him. So he pretty much used his power in that situation to take advantage of her, knowing that she was a supporter and she was in a vulnerable state. So that's what I got from the first girl. And then there's another girl that just recently came out after he did the live with his wife that stated that they were recently dealing with each other, and actually are still dealing with each other to this day. And he had, I guess, put a gag order out on her. And after the video with his wife, she said he had reached out to her an hour later, stating that she only came over to do the video, and that it was to save face or whatever the case may be. Honey. Okay. So, in regards to Derrick Jaxn, when I looked at that live video that him and his wife did, what I saw was, I didn't really see a united front like they were trying to put on. From the body language and gripping her hands very tightly and the way that they were talking, it almost felt like, to me, one person was genuine in wanting to save the marriage and actually did the work. And then the other person was only portraying that he had done the work. I'm talking about Derrick. It looked like he was acting as if he had done the work to save face for his brand. And also because, to be honest, marriage does almost kind of solidify what you're talking about if people can see that you have a successful marriage. So I feel like, one, that was the reason why he married her, because he had been with her for 14 years. In total, he has been with her for 14 years. And they had known each other, I think, 10 years before they actually got married. So that lets you know right there that that was a red flag in itself. And I'm going to let you ladies know, like, if a man, it takes him more than, I'll give him max 3 years, really 2, but I'll give the max 3, depending on what the situation is, to marry you. It shouldn't take that long. And yeah, so on top of that, it just seemed like she really was the one who genuinely wanted it to work. And he just was on that camera trying to put on a front and let the world know that, hey, we're standing together in this. That's what it looked like to me as I was reading their body language. Now, in regards to the wife appearance, her and Derrick had gotten a lot of backlash because everyone was saying, oh, this is your first time really revealing her, and you have her looking like this. You couldn't have told her to put a bra on. Why does she have a bonnet on and all of that? And guys, let the girl be. If she want to walk around looking like Sister Soldier, that is her business. And in all honesty, if you go up and down her Instagram, that is her through and through. She's plain Jane. And that also reflected on one of the recent videos she did that is very infamous right now. Well, that is infamous, period, in regards to their situation. So yeah, that's her. So I don't really care how she dresses. That's, you know, that's her business. I don't care that she worked it out with, she's trying to work it out with her husband. That's her husband. She's a grown woman. She's a big girl. She can make decisions, make her own decisions. And so we can't push our decisions on her, what she should do and what we would do. Because at the end of the day, she will have to deal with whatever consequences come with staying with him. And I try to let all my clients know that, like, you ask for advice and I give you the advice that you need. And if my advice to you is that based on the information you're giving me is to move on, and I help you and give you steps on how to do that, and then you continue to stay in that situation, then whatever it is, I hope you're emotionally prepared for what comes next. You know, so we can't make anyone do anything that they don't want to do. And everyone has free will. All you can do is give them the advice. And if they want to do, make the change, they will. That's that. So I'm not bothered by that. The thing I'm bothered by is the fact that she did this video on her Instagram. And I mean, although I got the message of the video, it was kind of like she was trying to, because people were coming at her about her appearance, talking about her bonnet, and she was saying her bonnet is her helmet of salvation, and her camouflage shirt was her breastplate of righteousness or something like that. Now, you guys ever met someone who becomes enlightened by something, like they're new to something, so they express what they're enlightened by, and when they're speaking on it, it's kind of like they're talking down on you because you don't know anything about it. And that's the vibe I got from her. I mean, and I got her message. She was just pretty much saying the world is lost, which it is. But I don't think God would want you to deliver your message in a way to look down on others. I'm a Christian and I wouldn't do that to anyone. You know, if someone wants to receive it, I'll give them the word, and that's all I can do. So yes, the world is lost, but just because you made your decision that you made, don't try to weaponize the word of God, you know, against people because you feel attacked, because that's what it felt like to me. And so that's something that reminds me of my ex that I dated. He was so enlightened by certain things, and he always tried to make me feel inadequate for not knowing about certain things. And so I think that's what bothered me about it. And it's almost like she was reading the script. It didn't seem genuine, you know, the way she was, you know, delivering the message. That's just my honest opinion about it. You know, so, but at the end of the day, she's still the victim, you know. She's still the victim in the situation. It's just that video didn't sit right with me. It was very off-putting to me. So all in all, within the situation, I'm pretty sure the women that were involved, I mean, they're victims as well in the situation because they were lied to. It's not like they knew of the situation and they just went in willingly trying to hurt another woman, you know. I mean, and even if that was the case, you know, it's still the man is the one who said the vows, you know. So, you know, and it's crazy because I didn't even know that man was married. I did not know he was married. I thought he was a single man just giving advice based off of his, you know, what he knew. But, you know, you never know what's going on with somebody behind the scenes. But anyways, him telling them girls that he was separated from her and just using his status, because I remember one of the girls that I told you guys earlier, she said she was a huge fan of his. She was a supporter of his. And he used that power he had in that situation. And of course, because she shared something with him that made her vulnerable, he took advantage of that. And yeah, so, and a lot of people was always, and I'm going to say this as well before I move forward. This is my advice, because this is a teachable moment to anyone who's in a situation like this or who has been approached with a situation like this. If someone who said they separated, if they haven't finalized the divorce, please do not move forward with that, because you never know what actually is going on with that situation. And not to say it's your fault when you're lied to, because if someone tells you they're separated, you know, I mean, to some, you may think like, okay, well, they're not trying to be together anymore. But I feel like the best thing for you to do is wait for their divorce to be finalized, because even then you never know what's going on, so either way, just be careful with what you open yourself up to, because people will take advantage and use you. And in that situation, he definitely did that. He used those women, and then when he was ready to go back to his wife, he went back to his wife after telling them that he was separated and lying and having sex with them. Even had sex with one of the women in his bed that he shares, the bed that he shares with his wife. And a lot of people always ask me, hey, why do you speak to women? Why don't you talk to the men about, what they need to do in a relationship? But, a lot of men just like to say it is what it is in regards to the cheating thing. They like to speak from a place of weakness instead of looking at something and switching the narrative. And so I always tell people, if the narrative was that women were cheaters, or that most women were cheaters, men would kill themselves off one by one because they can't handle their own medicine. But the reason why I speak to women, because it seems like we're always losing in relationship. Men are always playing on the idea that women have in their head about finding that companion, finding that fairy tale, having that fairy tale wedding, having kids, having a family. And I feel like men play on that. And if they find that you have certain insecurities and find you getting attached to them, they will use that against you. And I'm not saying all men do this, because I know y'all gonna be like, it ain't all men who do that. I know that. But I'm speaking to the ones who do that and then try to blame women for choosing who they choose. But we open up to you guys hoping that, the person that we like and that we put our trust in and that we love would not hurt us. And it's sad that men are walking around like we're their opponents. We're not your opponent, sweetheart. And then we constantly have to combat you guys. We have to constantly combat that. And like to all my ladies, I know, guys, I hope you guys aren't thinking I'm just taking sides because of this one situation. But it has been something that men have been doing since the beginning of time. And I'm a woman. I'm going to always stand behind women at the end of the day, regardless. And so with this situation, it's messed up. It's definitely messed up. But yeah, it's not like it was back in the day where grandma had to stay with grandpa after he done had 2 or 3 kids across town with another woman. That's because he was, taking care of the home. Now it's different. We found our power, and, it feels like you guys are demonizing us for finding our power. And then you also demonize us for our pain. So it's like, which one do you want? You want us to be, weak, or do you want us to be strong? Like, we can't win with you guys at all. That's what I'm learning. And so, yes, guys, just, I always say, in situations like this, people are going to do what they want to do. You can't control anyone else but yourself. So always make sure that you are also looking out for yourself in situations. If you set standards and boundaries for yourself, so that anyone that comes into your life, they have to meet those standards, uphold those standards. Because if not, things like this will continue to happen. Now, not to say that you won't find yourself into situations where people will try you, but it's better to be prepared than not to be. Because usually when people are not prepared, they will prolong a situation. See, when you're prepared, you're able to walk away and not look back. But, if you're not prepared to actually walk away from a situation, no matter how much it's hurting you on the inside, but because you love yourself more. And I'm not saying this to say that because the women, they walked away from the situation, obviously. But one of the women, she actually was blocked, I think. So that's why she exposed him, because of the way he did it. you know, how he left her hanging. And one of the girls he's still messing with until this day. So, you know, I really think it's wrong. Now, all of this is alleged, I'm going to say, only because, for one, I don't know those ladies personally. Now, he did say he cheated, but he didn't specify with who. So I'm just going to say that regardless of if it was with these ladies or not, which they sound credible to me, but if it was with them or not, regardless, it's wrong. And guys, you know, just be mindful. I don't even know if I have anything else to say about this, but just, you know, I guess I'm at a loss of words. I said all I could say. And if you guys want to book me for coaching, I will definitely put the link down below in the description box, along with the link to the event for the Women Empowerment event. And until next time, guys, be blessed.